Hello, hello. Welcome to Anime Anonymous. I'm CJ.
And this is Ace.
And this is Jess.
And we are coming at you today with The Promised Neverland to wrap up the quote-unquote spooky season. Quickly getting out the rigmarole. Follow us on Instagram, X Anime Anonymous X. There's a link on there that has all of our other social media except for
Audius, which is Anime Anonymous.
And that will be our email, Twitter, everything. So going back to Promised Neverland, this came out 2019. It was 12 episodes, and have to say a lot happened in those 12 episodes.
Yes.
So quickly though, out of all of us, because I think we might all have different ones. It'll be funny if we do or don't. Who was y'all's favorite character?
Oh, starting
Just jumping into it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's our quick little thing, and then we'll jump into the anime.
I'll go first. Mine's Emma.
Emma? Shocking.
Yes.
We'll get into why.
Yeah.
So, you're Emma. What about you?
Norman.
Norman?
Yeah. Between Norman and Ray. I flip-flop between them two.
So, I can't cheat because I love aspects of all of them, but I probably would have to say Ray.
Okay.
And that's why I was like, I swear all of us are going to have different people. Probably for certain reasons we all like them, but we'll get into the specifics of why we like each person. So, synopsis of this anime is basically it starts off, you think it's a really awesome, well, you're like, it's an orphanage, right? But everything seems really cool. Like, the kids kind of have free range. They have this caretaker that they call mom. Living the life, basically.
Yeah, super peaceful, super good vibes. Yeah. Anything they want or need, they have. Mm-hmm. And they have each other, which makes it fun. It's like literally living with your friends every day, like a sleepover 24/7.
Yeah, and they take their classes, they score differently, and you find out that, there's, 3 quote-unquote geniuses, right? You have Norman, who is good in a few different things. You have Ray, who's, kills all the tests. He's always the top scorer. And then you have Emma, who she's up there, but she is a genius in physicality, basically. Nobody can compete with her when it comes to anything athletic.
Right.
That is where she shines. And it seems like we said, a really kind of chill anime. But even, Norman and Emma, they start having their little thoughts about what's going on when people, get adopted, because they never hear back from them, and they're all like, oh, well, they're enjoying life, etc.
Yeah, no letters get sent back, no check-ins, no updates.
Yep.
So it's kind of weird.
Yeah. And then, it just throws you in the deep end.
Yeah, that's one way to put it,
Yeah. What happened, Ace? You just walk the listeners through
it starts,
in your own words.
In a quick synopsis, it starts playground fun, then they get curious, so they end up following one of the adoptees. Mm-hmm. They end up getting terrified and scared from this monster-eating children thing. They almost get caught. Mm-hmm. They end up leaving one of the toys, so now they're kind of exposed. They make it back. They're now acting... They're not acting normal because they're trying to comprehend what they just saw and what just happened, and then they're also thinking about themselves, the other kids, and trying to contemplate what to do and what just happened. So Then after that, they
And that's
decide
all
to
in, like,
rebel.
the first, that's
Yeah.
like all in the first episode.
Yeah.
Like,
And they
Yeah.
decide to rebel, team up, and train the kids to all escape. And they all have a little twist on if you should take them all, take a certain group, take a certain amount of people. And they have to maneuver around the sister. So mom hires a little helper for temporary.
no, she didn't hire her. She got sent.
Oh, excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
So the sister
Yeah.
was sent.
They were doing an audit.
Yeah, to
So,
try and
hold on now.
get the mom kicked out or whatever. The mom ends up out maneuvering that situation, gets her kicked out, and then she ends up getting eaten. She gets eaten, and then so she's in no better position. The kids are out before she got eaten. The kids were out maneuvering the auditor's sister. Then they end up
Sister Crone.
Yeah,
Or
Sister
Crone,
Crone.
whatever.
and
She
then,
was a weird character.
Let's
pause on her.
She was funny to me.
She was psycho.
She was very psycho.
Yeah, she was definitely psycho.
She had the what? The So my she
Was that-
wasn't a mom yet.
Yeah,
No.
she was trying to be. Yeah.
Okay, because in my head I'm like, wait, to be chosen, you have to be a mom, and I'm like, no, okay, she was recommended to be a mom, but she wasn't one yet. That's why. Okay, because like she had that creepy little doll.
Was
that
there
she
a
would-
camera in that doll?
I don't remember. I don't know
Because I'm trying
I
to
don't
figure
remember.
out. Okay,
I don't think so.
Because I'm like, that would have been a very secretive and smooth way for mom to have caught her.
No,
unless she was just being super
No.
loud with her tantrums in the room.
Yeah, no, I don't think so because, like, yeah, she came with that, and she was always there's no way there was one because she was always breaking it, so she was always having to fix it. So it would be really kind of hard to get a camera in there that she wouldn't figure out that was in there.
Okay.
But like,
Because she
Yo.
literally would like have a monologue one-on-one with the viewer, us,
Yeah.
the watcher, and I'm like, this gives me like camera vibes. Like,
yeah, no, she was interesting. I mean, one, she was on some superhuman stuff because like
Yeah.
this chick, and she was rewatching it, and she busted out laughing. She was like, "Yeah, I forgot she bust through a tree to go after a kid."
yeah,
You know, like she be coming around the corner, like creeping, like with a creepy smile. Like she was freaky.
yeah.
But yeah, we in the words of Kevin Hart, we ain't gonna just go past that. Like it wasn't no,
yeah,
bro.
like it did just happen.
Yo, she was.
Yeah, she was an
crazy.
interesting one for sure.
But yeah, but
I enjoyed her character. She had me cracking up.
no, she was funny. She was, and I will say she was almost honest to a fault because obviously there's different ways they handle their trauma, right? So you learn in the anime like all the sisters or moms, everybody's from plantations. These are not orphanages. They're plantations. They are basically to grow food for demons, right? So all this testing and free, fun-loving stuff, that's to grow them mentally, physically, etc. And those who don't, for lack of a better word, have a passing grade get shipped off early. But you have the gourmets that they want to grow that are the top scorers, a.k.a. Ray, Norman, and Emma.
Yeah.
But yeah, they all handle their trauma differently, and obviously Crone, whatever her name is, I can't remember off the top of my head, like pronunciation. She didn't handle it well because she went half crazy. Like she was definitely crazy.
Well, I mean, you learn what happens when they do decide and take the offer of becoming a sister to a mom. It's something gets put in their chest, and if they leave the plantation, they literally die immediately on the spot. So, I mean, you go from, that to then having, like, major surgery, basically, and a threat and a bomb inside your body. you know, and then trying to put on a happy face for kids to not scare them when you know what the truth is about all these kids. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's definitely creepy.
It's very creepy.
And then
And she tries to internalize it, which shows that's not the best way at times to deal with things of this magnitude.
Yeah, and she goes in, like you were saying, like she was sent by the quote-unquote mom to help Isabella, but she really wanted to get Isabella kicked out so she could be a mom.
Right.
So, you know, like, you look at Isabella is cold and collected, because, like, she, again, first, honestly, like, 15 minutes of the first anime, like, you're like, this woman's loving, she's so kind, she's the best, and then you see what happens to Connie, like, at the end, and you're like, oh.
She is not what I expected.
And she comes back smiling. Like, well, when she finds the bunny, she got, like, the killer look in her eyes. She's like, okay, so some of these kids know. And she just goes about her business. Like, later on, what does she, like, when they're figuring out their whole plan, she goes and breaks Emma's leg with a smile on her face.
Oh, you skipping parts, but
I'm just talking about her psychology. Like, and she wraps it
in a splint
of it, picks her up tenderly. She's like, "That's gonna take
2 months to heal.
2 months to heal. You can't escape.
It's a clean break. It's a clean break.
Yeah, like
no scars will be left.
Insanity. But I could keep going, but I've talked a lot. Ace has talked a lot. Jess, you have the floor. What do you want to talk about before we start going into the craziness of this that we like or dislike about it?
Because this was impactful, to say the least.
That's the term we're going to use for this?
It's something.
It is something. Can we talk about the intro? Like,
yo, that song is hype. Did you skip
I'm pretty sure I skipped that.
Oh
What?
my god.
So I've seen this.
Hold on.
This multiple times. Like I've seen this.
I have it saved on Spotify.
It's that good.
She's a real one.
I think when I first saw this, like while you guys are searching for it, when I first saw this, I was just so confused on what I was watching. But it was like raving, and people were talking about it all over anime, and like,
which I told you,
a lot of YouTubers.
If people rave about something, I don't watch it. So it took me a while to watch this. I actually didn't watch this until end of 2020. Like,
see, I watched it when King of Lightning was talking about it, and he was raving about it.
Yeah, no. Anytime people rave about stuff, I'm like, that's cap.
Yeah,
that is cap, bro. Like, I mean, bringing it home, right? And I feel like I've said it on the show before, but I can't remember. The stupid Netflix show. What was that stupid show? Oh my god!
I got a question while you think of it.
It's the one that they play kids games.
No Game, No Life?
No. It's a Korean show, I think, but they play kids games. And they're all like in debt. I can't. This is how much I hate this show because I can't think of it right
Squid
now.
Game?
Squid Game. Yeah.
That show was hot garbage.
You didn't enjoy that?
That show was trash.
That was so funny.
No, it wasn't funny at all. The main character was annoying as hell. The ending, the way he ended was annoying as hell.
The game when they're like playing red light, green light, you didn't enjoy that?
No, trash. Complete trash. I hated every single character in that.
Nah, I enjoyed that.
Okay. Hey, we'll be right back. We're gonna make sure Ace listens to this song.
I found like the actual opening because even the opening scene is just great.
All right, we're back. Go ahead. Explain yourself.
After rewatching the intro, it was good. I think it didn't portray accurately what you were getting into.
On purpose.
On purpose.
So it felt like a lie. But that's just me. I mean, it was good. Song was quality, upbeat. Just the anime was the complete opposite.
It's not opposite at all. See, that's the whole point. See, you crack me up. You literally complain about when an opening tells you everything, and then complain when it's hiding something.
Only
No.
So no. When it's a longer anime and they start foreshadowing, the arc before you even got into it. Yeah, that part I'm like, you could have kept the old intro a little bit longer, let us get into the arc, and then you can start adding those on too. So yeah, I'm gonna complain when it comes to those. But for these 12 episode short ones, yeah, I mean, it was a solid intro.
See, I personally hate when intros tell me everything about an anime. Like, that pisses me off. So if you pay attention to it, you're like, something's weird here. And obviously, these three are combining to go against something.
Right, yeah.
Which is exactly what happens. It's not the opposite. It's just a hype
I mean,
intro.
like the tempo, the upbeat, the energy.
Yeah.
That part was different than...
Yeah, because they didn't want you to know it's a dark anime.
Yeah, and that's
Same
one
thing
thing.
with, like,
Yeah,
Overlord,
I'm not
actually.
really a huge fan of dark anime. CJ is definitely a fan of dark anime.
It's not that I'm a fan, but I like when things are intricate, right? Like, I like stupid anime sometimes, and like just power creep animes, but cerebral ones are so much more interesting to me. So like the fact that you have these three quote unquote geniuses who figure out what they're not supposed to figure out. And then obviously Isabella was top, or else she wouldn't have been, chosen as a mom. But she clearly was like one of the top because she figured out who the people were very quickly and was following their whole plan without them knowing that she knew. But then they show that they are OG geniuses because then they totally flip it on her. So, like, I love ones it's like, oh, it's not, I'm going to beat you because I'm, like, a superhuman strong person, right? Like, they use their brain, and I'm like, oh, that's so good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely enjoyed the anime. I enjoyed the chess moves. That definitely made it interesting, and one of the main parts of it that I would recommend to anyone that wants to watch it. And I'm definitely interested in season 2. It was just different than what I'm used to. And I'll just leave it at that. But, the intro was great.
Yeah, no, the intro was really good. Definitely, I had to, like, finish. Even though I've watched it prior, I had to finish it to remember all the parts in dub. I do not recommend this in dub because the kids' voices are very kid-like.
Really?
I enjoyed it in dub.
Yeah, I didn't think dub was that bad.
Not for this one. Usually, me and CJ were like, Japanese
I definitely prefer Japanese all day with
It's not
this
that
one.
I don't prefer it.
Yeah.
I don't think the dubs were bad. Like, especially especially for all of them. The only thing I could complain about in the dubs was, like, some of the 4-year-olds sounded older than 4-year-olds. I'm like, bro, I have a 3-year-old. He does not sound like this. I'll tell you that right now.
But it helped get the point across.
Mm-hmm. Yep. But no. I guess I'm really curious on your thoughts on the whole flower.
What do you mean?
When Connie died, there was a flower out of her. What was that? Because I don't.
I'm gonna tell you right now.
I thought it was. Yeah, I thought it was like symbolism of like just them portraying death.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, in a creative way.
Yeah, I mean that could have meant something, but to me, I didn't really care about it. Like
okay.
I really was more interested.
I didn't know
in
if I
what
missed something
meant.
with it.
No, it could be because I mean the flower is portrayed in the opening a lot, and the flowers are in the ending,
right,
as well. So I mean the flowers most likely have a meaning.
Right.
But I was so engrossed more in like the dueling thought processes that I didn't really care about it. Like, I don't know. Like, so to make a comparison, which people will probably flame me for this, I don't care. I liked the thought. I liked the competition of minds in this more than I did in Death Note between Elle and Kira. Yeah, because I can't stand Light. Like, he's so pretentious, and he should have been caught so many different times. Like, and then especially the way they end Death Note. Like, okay, you beat one of the best detectives, if not the best, and then you lose to some kids. But okay, that makes sense. But I don't know, like, as a like, even the bad characters in here, I don't dislike them. I think they're very cerebral.
who
so like
be,
Mom, like,
you think Mom's a bad character?
is Isabella?
Oh, you mean like a villain? Okay.
Yeah, like gotcha. Isabella, like,
yeah, I was like, she was a great character.
She's a villain, but like, there's two types of villains that I really ride with. If you make me dislike you, but like not as a trash character, but like you piss me off because you're a evil
villain
person, like
that's
you've
solid.
done your job.
Yeah, that's perfect.
And then if you're a villain, then I'm just like, damn, you are evil. I cannot be mad at you. That's another good villain, right?
No, I agree.
Elle or Kira Light, as a main character, he's just annoying. Like, I just don't like him. So that's why, like, I think the clash in this is more organic. And maybe it's because there's not supernatural involved. Maybe that's why I like this one more. But I loved the dueling and the fact that, like, it's so true. To trick your enemies, you have to trick your own team.
Shout out to Norman.
And there were so many to Norman, to Ray, Norman, and Emma.
Yeah,
all of them were pulling tricks on each other to make sure. Ray had the first one.
Yeah, because he was the spy.
Yeah, Ray did the first one. Norman did a couple. Like, Norman had the most out of them.
And that's why I think I like Norman a lot.
Norman had like 3.
Right.
Ray had just 1, really.
And Emma had a great one.
Emma had 2. Because Emma made Ray at first think she really did give up.
Oh,
and then when he asked, he was like, did you really give up? The look that
Bruh, I thought I was watching a completely different anime. When them eyes shifted, I was like, that is Emma. A killer. Yeah, I'm like, you turned into killer assassin mode, like, out of nowhere.
Like, and then the way he was like, wait, you've been planning this? And then he was like, oh, okay, you've been planning it. And then everything goes, and he's like, how did you do this? And then he plays it in his head. He's like, wait, so this was training? Because Norman may have come up with the idea, but she made it happen and made sure things were going that Ray didn't know and that Mom didn't know. Like, boss. Yeah. So, like, all 3 of them in their own way. So I'll get into why I like Ray, right? He is, quote unquote, the smartest one, right? Test wise. Yeah, but in actuality, Emma and Norman are smarter than him.
Yeah, easy.
The reason I like him is because he's psychotic.
Yeah, when he was ready at age, 11, 12, 10, to light himself on fire to get back at Mom.
Oh, he had just turned 12.
Okay, I'm like, I don't think I was that savage at 12.
Man said, I've been planning this. Yeah. He was like, they're growing. I'm number 1. They've been looking for me.
I'm not going to let them have it.
He's like, then the meal they've been wanting burns right in front of them. I'm like, my man is a savage.
Yeah, I'm like, this kid is different.
That is what got me. Like,
that's what made me like Ray.
Every time his switch flipped and you saw the real Ray, that was my guy.
Top notch.
So I admittedly, I like the semi-psychotic characters. So like another one that we actually need to do the first season. I forgot it came out, but Noblesse Like, my favorite character is Frankenstein, and he's a freaking psycho.
I keep wanting to do no less.
We'll eventually do it. Yeah. But the reasons I like the other two is why I said Norman definitely had the most switches, right?
Yeah.
And he handled it really well. But Emma putting it into action and doing everything, I have so much, like, out of all of them, just character-wise, I like her the most. Personality-wise, I like Ray. That's why he's my favorite. But out of all of them, I mean, girl ripped off her own ear.
Yeah, that was...
Like, what?
That was savage right there.
Yeah, so it's just like, yo.
Yeah, and I agree in the sense of, like, Norman's my Ray to you. So Norman was like my favorite character, but to literally have a successful escape with majority of the kids like she planned, and then because she ended up listening to Norman, like, all right, maybe we shouldn't take the 4-year-olds and under, let them stay as a distraction as well. I'm like, and then they had food, she had the clothes, she had the rope for them.
Yep.
They used the clothes hangers to what is it, skyline?
Zip line?
Zip line,
yeah.
Down. I'm like, oh, it was just beautiful. Everything that you could think of that they would need, they had. And then even when it came to when they first got lucky and they threw the rock across the ridge and they got the one down, I'm like, all right, that's cool. Then when they used the water bottles and put the other two, I'm like, oh, these kids are different. Okay.
And then Ray looks in his head and he's like, they were making rockets.
Yeah.
What the heck?
And then you start replaying everything. I'm like, Emma.
Emma was about it, bro.
And I knew it as soon as Mom requested her to be the next mom. I was like, Emma's about to do something tough. I just don't know what it is yet. I think that was probably like episode 7 or 8. And I was like, yeah, Emma's about to definitely show why she's the main character. Norman, I felt like he just held it down for the group. Everyone looked up to Norman. And then I guess like when he was playing his chess moves, it was very easy to follow. And I think I enjoyed those small wins that were very impactful. And the fact that even when Emma was right, he was like, you know what? I'm going to step back and do it your way. And that teamwork, that camaraderie, like being able to take the back seat, even though you're just as smart as whoever, I was like, I respected that. I think I resonated with that a lot, too.
Let's be real.
What's up?
The only reason he listened to Emma because he's a simp. That man was
Really?
in love with Emma.
I did not pick that up.
Yes.
Norman, heck yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, heck yeah.
When he was about to get shipped out, he was like, that's why and he was about to tell her he loved her, and then he retracted.
Oh.
Yeah. But, I mean, you could tell the way he interacted with her. I was like, oh, man. And then that was the solid. Like, that was him, like, saying, yeah, he loved her.
Okay.
But no, I mean, that's the thing, though. He factored in what she wanted and made his plan, like you said, right? Mm-hmm. And then she grew up. She was like, no, Norman's right. I'm right, too, though. Like, she's like, I want them to be safe. And then Gilda, out of nowhere, she's just like with the facts. Right. She was like, what about the other plantations?
Yeah, I was like, Gilda.
Everybody's like, damn.
I forgot all about them.
We don't care about them. We care about these kids. And like, oh, shoot, Gilda with the facts.
Yeah, but then it made me excited because I'm like, that has to be season 2. That has to be the next. Because by the time I first saw this, there was no season 2.
Oh, no.
So I was like, all right, at least.
It wasn't even teased.
Yeah, it's going to be another 12 episodes because they're in a pentagon or a hexagon.
Something like that. I think it's a hexagonal or an octagon, and I think all the plantations are hexagons. Either way.
Yeah, it was some type of shape like that.
And the headquarters is in the middle.
Yeah, so let's say a hexagon for simplicity. And I'm like, there's a whole other group of kids that have no idea that they're going to be eaten. And I'm like, all right. So at least I'm excited for season 2, and then come to find out by the time we're reviewing, it's a season 2. So super hyped about that. Gilda definitely like.
I want to say it came out beginning of this year, or maybe end of last year.
End of last year.
Okay, I knew it was close.
Yeah, so I was definitely enjoyed Gilda's input. The other kid, what's that kid name? Dawn. I liked Dawn being.
Dawn was like the most relatable.
Yeah, I'm like, he's like, I gotta go save. He was like, Mom's leaving. Where is Ray? I'm going in the house. I'm like, my guy didn't gotta tell him. Wasn't no, where's Ray? Like he was like, he gotta be in the house. I'm about to find him. His little body up there dropping down a door. I'm like, I don't think that's realistic, but I like that you saved Ray.
Adrenaline is a hell of a drug, man. Adrenaline.
Yeah, I enjoy it.
I mean, there's all them stories about like moms flipping cars to get their kid. Yeah. Now they get some pain afterwards because the body ain't supposed to do that.
No,
right.
But a door, all day. Now his shoulder gonna hurt.
He's like 12.
Actually, he's 10.
A 10-year-old.
You see how tall? So I think I've told both of y'all this. When I ran track in Oklahoma, granted, some of them kids were lying. But
yeah, of course.
Some of them kids,
some grown ass 10-year-olds.
Bro, they had beards, freaking
facial hair.
Yeah, like muscles. I was like, y'all on steroids? What the heck? I'm
like, P. Reed don't hit that. And no 10-year-old.
There was a team, bro. You put all of them together, they were like a punk band. One had huge sideburns, one had a whole goatee, and the other one had a freaking cowboy mustache. I was like, this is a lie.
Yeah, you guys are not
going against grown men right
That's
now.
when you're up there racing against high schoolers and middle school. You're like, well, I guess this is what varsity's like. And it helps you. It helps you. You get this, see what you got to work up to. But nah, I really enjoyed Don. His parts were minimal, but they were impactful.
They were impactful, yeah.
And I enjoyed that. Gilda, she definitely kind of made some clairvoyance for me. Definitely with the facts and made me interested in seeing season 2. So I'll probably check that out. And then one shout out to my little man, Phil. I'm pretty sure that's his name.
Yeah, that's him.
I'm like, Phil, I knew I liked you. I ain't know why, but him catching Crone, searching, and he's like, because when he did the first walk by, he's like, she was just searching through my stuff. You're like, what you doing?
Yeah, Phil was a G, right?
Yeah.
I don't know like I said, I don't know no 4-year-old like him. But
he was a mature 4-year-old.
Very mature.
But be able to take that and be like, nah, I'll stay back.
But to be fair, that could make sense because they've been training these kids up since they were babies, right?
Yeah.
So it kind of felt like they were heightened.
Yeah, they are. That was Emma's thing. That's why Ray was like, wait, how are all these kids in on this? Well, because Emma, through her team, when she was looking all depressed and crying,
she was coaching them.
Getting them to talk to all the other kids. And that's why the whole plan made sense. She was like, there's no way we can do this plan with just us. Yeah. Right? And that's the one fault that Ray and Norman were having. Right?
Which I was agreeing with them for the longest.
I was. A smaller group is always easier, right? Mm-hmm. But, it made, her plan or her implementation of the plan is the only way it could have worked.
Right.
The way that they were trying to plan it all by themselves, it was not going to work. Yeah. I mean, you going to expect a 5-year-old to do, a running sideways up the wall thing like they were going to do? No. Or just, climb up it No. The way they did it made sense. Yeah. But,
and I enjoyed that. The way it came, it all came together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any scenes you liked or disliked that you want to talk about?
Trying to think.
We'll go with the scenes you liked, because
that's what I said. Either one. Okay,
Yeah.
see, this is a podcast. You can't have all this dead time.
I know.
Dead sound.
I'm so
You're gonna
sorry.
sit here for 2 minutes.
Well,
so
I'll give a few.
Yeah,
The house when Ray's scene of being put on fire, and then the scene where Emma ends up catching that lighter, and then doing the skit and roll of really portraying like Ray
He's on
was,
fire?
yeah, on fire, burning, and then in the midst of that, finding the correct time, that perfect timing to escape, cut her ear off, hide that into another part of the house, then still make it, bandages herself up and still makes it to the wall to escape. I'm like, that was just perfect chess moves right there, and I was really engaged, even though that's like the last episode or the last 2 episodes.
Yeah,
that one was probably my favorite. The other one was Norman when he was strategically hiding the rope around the house to figure out who the spy is and who is going to betray them or not. Love that part of Norman. Ray, when he's literally on that psycho mode, when he turns into that, like, look, this is what it's going to be, and I don't care. I'm like, Ray, I have those moments. I F with you for that. And then, Emma as a whole, she was a great main character, very shonen-esque. So it's kind of hard not to love that type of character if you like any shonen. Did that jog any ideas for you?
No, I mean, I know when Norman clues in on Ray being the spy. I loved how you saw Ray's psycho side a little bit. Because he just goes on the bed and he just starts evil laughing. I'm just like, oh my gosh, this kid is psycho. Yep. But the one thing I wanted to talk about, I just want to confirm if I understood this end of it right. Is Ray Mom's biological child?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, that is showing that. I was just like, oh, snap. But then it made perfect sense why he was the spy. Like,
that has nothing to do necessarily why he was the spy. The reason that shows you that he wasn't BSing, though, when he was talking about he could remember stuff when he was a kid, because she only sang that song when she was alone and pregnant. So when she heard him humming it, she's like, that, like, she was still dealing with her trauma. Mm-hmm. And that was her break. That was her breaking point. Right at that moment when he asked her, why'd you give birth to me? And she was like, to survive. And that's when she just, in her own twisted way, she really does care about the kids. But she's like, there's no way you can escape from this. This is just how it is. And we have to go through it. So I'm going to let these kids, I'm going to try and let them grow as well as I can, but also do my duty. Mm-hmm. And that's like, she's a very effed up character, because also right at the end, like, that's actually that maybe 5-second exchange between Emma and her just looking at each other.
Oh, yeah.
And then Emma swings. That is one of my favorite scenes. And her wishing them success. Like, that, it didn't seem forced. It didn't seem weird to me. Mm-mm. Especially because they gave so much of her story in such little time. Yeah. And I think if you can do that in an anime, like, one of the things I hate about animes is where they give a whole episode backstory to someone I don't care about. Yeah. Right?
I feel you on that.
I kind of cared about Mom, and they didn't even waste half an episode on her backstory.
And it was clear.
It was maybe 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
If that. And it was perfect. Mm-hmm. And the way she wishes them well, she was like, go out there, escape. I hope you do it. Yada yada. I'm like, I really think she means this.
And she had to respect how they did it.
Oh, yeah.
She was like, yeah.
Yo, but my girl
this was the
blitzing.
best class. Yo, yeah.
She had runners for him. She could have run the 400. The way she leaned around that corner, I
I was
yo.
like, yep, this is anime. This is what I needed.
So track. I ran the 4x1. I ran the 100, 200, 4x1, and the 4x4. But I always had the corner, right? Because that's hardest for people to run. I love going around corners because it's really easy for me to bend. The way they drew her kind of taking that corner, I said, okay, I see you, Isabel.
Yeah.
You a track star.
Yeah,
and then she was out of breath, and she didn't try and do no stupidity. Like, she was just out of breath. She's just like, are you going to do this?
Yeah.
They're already over there. And I think she knew in her head they had a better chance with Emma. That's why she just looked at her. There was no words, nothing. Mm-mm. And it was beautiful to me.
Yeah, and I also thought that was a sense of respect on, like, nah, you did this flawlessly.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Well, we are coming to a close, so anybody wants to quickly say? Or
last question.
Okay, go ahead.
Emma was the only one that had the tracker put in that needed to be removed, or?
No, they all had one.
They all did.
They all had one in their ear.
Okay, so
yeah,
that's the only part that I'm kind of like, I ain't chop off everybody's ear.
Well, they could either do two things. They still have the electric thing.
Oh, yeah.
Or it could also only work in the plantation, and I think that's what it is. So it's one of those two, because they still have that.
Yeah.
But we'll most likely explore that in season 2.
Cool.
So
that was only
season 2 will definitely be on the docket. Not yet, because Jess has a recommendation. But before we get to the recommendation, let's do ratings. So, out of 10 Psycho Rays, how many you can make? I said out of 10 Psycho Rays, because the man
10
was
Psycho Rays?
I'm just kidding. Out of 10.
Out of 10? I mean, it's up there. It's definitely like a very high 9 and a 10 for me.
A high 9 and a 10, so 19. Okay.
Yeah, that's high school.
Which one?
I'll be like Ace over here. 9.75.
Oh my Lord. Both of you. Anyway, okay.
I'm gonna give it a solid 9. I really enjoyed this, especially the second time around. Well, not the second time, but like
rewatching.
Rewatching it, way better experience. So solid 9 for me.
Okay. I'm gonna match you on the 9. I think it was a really well done one. My only issue really was with some of the characters that I just like. Gilda, while she did spit some facts, she was a little annoying in some areas for me.
I can see that.
And Crone was just weird. Like, I get it. I don't know. I just didn't like that character.
Yeah.
So 9 from me, 9 from Ace, and
9.75.
9.75 from Jess. So before we wrap up, what is your recommendation?
Drifting Home.
Drifting Home. Mm-hmm. It is a anime movie on Netflix.
Yep, anime movie on Netflix. Came out this year, 2022. It is 2 hours long.
Jesus,
I am so sorry.
See, this isn't even the one I thought. She was talking about another one. I thought that was the one she was recommending. See, this is news to me.
Taking my weekend.
No, but we're actually following the theme of Promised Neverland. We're going to watch a group of kids find themselves stranded on a mysterious sea and must work together to survive.
Okay. And this is called Drifting Home.
Yes.
Drifting Home.
According to Netflix, it's a 94% match for me, so we're going to watch it.
Okay. All right. So next week will be on the Netflix movie Driving Home.
Drifting
Home. Good Lord. I'm clearly Redline is still not out of my head, man.
I loved Redline.
I loved Redline. I might have to watch it after this. Drifting Home. See, it's because of the drifting. I thought of anyway. All right. Well,
reminds me of Bubble.
That's what she said too. So catch us next week with Drifting Home. But until then, I am CJ.
This is Ace.
And this is Jess.
And we will catch you next Amy.